Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's August 2nd, 2015, and this week we're going to do a lesson on the philosophy of successful guitar playing. Now, this week's question was sent in from Jack. He's out in Waterford, Ireland, and he wrote in with this email: Andrew, I've watched a lot of YouTube lessons. I've had memberships to guitar websites, and I've had a tutor, but I still feel like I can't seem to carry a rhythm groove or play through a melody so that it sounds effortless. I'm not too sure what's my problem, but I think it has something to do with my philosophy. Is it common for players to go through this, a feeling like they just haven't got into that musician's headspace? From Jack in Waterford, Ireland. Well, thanks for writing in, Jack. Hey, playing guitar actually does have a lot to do with philosophy. The way we think through both what and how we play, and the competency level that we have with all the operations involved. They do play a psychological loop on us. The less we're concerned with how we're doing, the better we tend to do, and the more we become overly concerned with how we're doing, the worse we tend to play. Now, quite simply put, the feel for playing music comes along more naturally to us if we aren't overthinking everything. All we need to do is think less and play more music. Now, music needs to come naturally to us if we force it, if we're trying to make it happen. We tend to also force ourselves mentally, and this can cause a lot of mistakes to kick in. Those mistakes can be very subtle, like maybe just being slightly off on a note. Instead of being right on the fret area that you need to have it on, you're just off a bit, gets a little bit flubbed. Happens to all of us, but if you get overly concerned about it, it may throw you off even worse as you go into the next notes coming up. Or it could be something really huge. It could be, like you're going through a line, or you're doing an improvisation and you draw a complete blank, and then you hit something and it's out, and you just feel, I've just blown it, and you crash and burn. So there's ways that you can get around this. There's ways that you can organize your thoughts, keep yourself better on track, and that's what we're going to do in this video. So the next thing that we're going to do is discuss how you can better keep your mental focus. So let's move on to that next. Well, playing good guitar means being competent, and pretty much all guitar players are guilty of having certain playing issues that are not at the technical levels of where they should be. All competent guitarists have a philosophy that guitar is an instrument that requires technical practice. And, this is the type of practice that can be really boring. It's unfortunately, though, the only way to develop really good technical chops is through some kind of routine done every day, over and over, targeting a specific idea. One of the most common ideas out there is chromatic work, where you're just playing in a row, a group of notes. You can do it in an ascending and a descending fashion on the neck. And it's a really good one. It's very common, but unfortunately, a lot of times people don't practice it very much. They do it for a week, or they do it for a week and a half, and then they just drop it and they go on to, learning that next favorite guitar solo of theirs. But, you need to think through something consciously while you're playing. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's an exercise or whether it's a guitar solo. You need to think through this stuff very consciously in the beginning. And, after a while, it becomes more automatic, but in those early days, it needs lots of work. Anyone who's ever played in a band for a long time knows this. After you've played the same songs, months and months and months through, they become incredibly second nature to you. And this type of repetition done over time is what slowly builds a musician's higher level of technical and musical focus. Then the next question becomes, well, how do we deal with mistakes? Well, we're going to cover that one next. Well, another playing philosophy of really good guitarists is that they hold a general belief that anything that happens outside of the realms of what they think is perfection, or how it is they want a part to be played, or how they want a rhythmic idea to sound, or whatever it may be, anything that happens outside of that is just simply not important. It's a slight glitch, I guess you could say, and a correction has to be made. They don't hold on to every little error and every little glitch of their guitar playing. If they're playing live, they just keep going and make do, they recover. If they're in the studio, they're just going to quickly record the part again. There's no stressing the little things that might go wrong. Because when we get angry and if we get frustrated, everything else becomes almost, you might as well say, infected with that feeling. And the anger or the upset also gets transferred over to other players on the gig or in the session as well. So this brings us to one last point I want to clarify, and it has to do with comparing yourself to other guitar players. So let's check that out next. You know, the final philosophy of successful guitar players that I'd like to cover is the philosophy of fully understanding that we're all unique and that we need to stop making comparisons to other guitar players. I know it's easy and it's very common to compare ourselves to not just famous guitar players, but too often we'll also compare ourselves to friends and to other players in our local music scene. And this is the worst type of comparison. It's really not good to compare yourself to another peer and get concerned with what they're up to. You know, balanced musicians are happy with, you know, what others are doing, and they're interested in others' success, and they're happy when everyone else has success. You know, the moment you begin getting worried about what some other musician is up to, that's when you're going to really lose sight of your own strengths and your own talent. Everyone is unique. No two people are the same. Be happy with your playing and with your projects, and simply enjoy listening to what other people are doing. Music is not a contest, it's an art form, and you know, no two pieces of original art are identical. So remember that next time you decide to start comparing yourself to another guitar player. Well, this brings us to the end of our philosophy lesson on successful guitar playing. It takes a lot of physical work to learn how to play well, but it's the mental side, the philosophical side of our approach that really keeps it all together. If we have an easygoing attitude and we take everything in stride, yet still put in all of the hours and hours of hard, dedicated work to building our skill on the instrument, we will absolutely have success, because a really great attitude, good physical skill, and a well-balanced mental perspective will totally push us further and further along with our playing abilities. Being a great musician does take dedication, but it also takes a very specific type of attitude. When you combine these two, you get pretty amazing results. Anyhow, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and if possible, consider a small donation to fund the Guitar Lessons project here. Every little bit helps. Otherwise, have yourself a really great week, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye for now. I'd like to take a moment to mention another guitar video lesson project I've started. It's a unique guitar lesson approach that I'm doing online, and it's not like anything I've done before. Best of all, it's 100% free. I've called this approach Guitar Micro Lessons, and they're a great way to learn a few new licks or riffs or chord shapes each week. Now, these Guitar Micro Lessons are quick and easy to learn from. They're very short, with each lesson running between only 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in length. They're published to YouTube from Monday to Thursday on my other Guitar Blog Update YouTube channel, and you can either subscribe to that channel to guarantee getting each new episode, or just visit the channel whenever it's convenient for you and check out the new micro lessons in the playlist on the Guitar Blog Update channel's homepage. The Music Reading Phase 1 ebook has over 30 pages of comprehensive project lessons covering the entire fifth reading position on the guitar. Music reading charts and drills will work to help students memorize the placement of the fifth position notes, including important sharp and flat tones. Several original and classic pieces of sheet music will help students to gain a solid understanding for this region of the neck. Rhythm studies, duration examples, plus song and location drills along with 19 MP3 audio tracks makes this one of the best music reading courses available online. Music Reading Phase 1 is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com.